if you're writing romance, fantasy, literally any novel with a relationship, and you feel like the desire in it is a little bit of a struggle to write, then this video is for you. Hello, hello, my name is Shadi. I am a Black novelist in Japan, and you may be wondering what the heck is on my head, so just hear me out before you click out of the video. So I'm obviously talking about desire in this video, and what better way to talk about sinning, basically. Okay, not sinning, but what better way to talk about desire than to dress like the devil? You see, I got my tail on. I got my, I forgot what this thing is called. Scepter? It's not a scepter. Trident? I don't know. Whatever this is. And let me show you. I actually have to choose between this. I want to do this one. It's a little big though, a little bit too big for me, so I'm gonna stick with this one. Can I put this in the back? Oh, this is probably gonna fall. All right, we'll just wait until it falls then. But that was quicker than I thought it would be. I was looking for something to wear for the devil's part, and I found one horn. Just one. I know it's somewhere in the back room, but it's too cold in there for me to have to shift and sift and look through everything. So I have one horn today, and I decided to put it in the center of my head. So you know what? This little devil gets her other horn when you subscribe to the channel. So anyways, Black Novelist in Japan, just here to give you some tips, techniques, and tricks to help you write your novel or poetry or work on any creative endeavor you are hoping to pursue. So you can pick your poison and listen along, or just use me as background noise. Either is okay. It's really up to you. You can catch my previous video on, I think it was writing inspiration that I did for the community section of this channel. And let's go ahead and get into it. Desire! Woo! Oh, also, happy Valentine's month and Black History Month. I had cake earlier, so that's what was stuck to it, but you gotta represent. Thank you, Bessie, for getting me this. But yes, I love February. I love love. I'm a romance novelist. This is my realm. I'm in heaven. So let's go ahead and get started. In the spirit of February and sinning, I'm here to talk about lust. Okay, like I said, not lust, but I'm here to talk about desire. Basically, in writing desire in romance novels, it can be tricky, I think, especially when you feel like you're kind of cringy, but I'm here to talk about it in ways where it may be more subtle, how to make it more believable, and maybe how to make things more a little emotionally charged. You know, there's so many different ways to go about it. It's really just up to you. So I'm just here to give some ideas and thoughts on how to make it not so cringy. But before that, as I said before, make sure to subscribe, but also like the video and comment. Let's talk about statistics a little bit. You know, I got to start with that to kick off the video. So about 6 out of 10 readers said that they prefer more realistic emotional portrayals of romance. So there was a study done where 2,000 romance readers were interviewed and asked about their interests and what they like. And as you can see on the screen, it says maybe 38% admitted that they have imagined their partner as a character from the books they read. And 60% said that intimate scenes feel realistic. And I think the general consensus was that maybe 6 out of 10 of those people prefer more real and emotional scenes that are more realistic, not anything like too racy that you find on is it XXX? I obviously don't know this innocent little devil. But anyways, I just thought those statistics were interesting. As someone who also, and I will keep saying in almost every video probably, but I prefer realistic scenes and practicality in what I read. So if it's anything that's too out there, I'm just kind of like, I don't know about that. That being said, please just keep in mind the statistics that I put up here and kind of think about it for yourself. What do you like? What are you interested in? Feel free to comment down below. let's go ahead and get into the tips I have for working on desire. And no, I will not be talking about writing the devil's tango in my, but this would have been a good outfit for the devil's tango. I want to start this section by asking, when you think about desire, what comes to mind? For me, it's the yearning that you want something, whether you get it or not. That desire is key, I think, especially in romance novels, and that's what really gets people invested in the writing. As someone who is so shy, especially around men and boys, I'm just like, I can't around boys. I'm so shy. But as someone who's embarrassed and shy, I feel like, especially in romance novels, I really latch onto the desire section and that longing and that yearning that one partner feels for another. I really think it's so important in writing, and you can probably see it in some of my past stuff if anyone has ever read my fan fictions, or whenever you're seeing this video, if you have read my novels. That strong desire, yearning, and that wanting feeling is, I feel, to some extent always there in my novels, but that's just me. That's just tsundere me that loves to write in this kind of way. So you're probably asking, how can you improve the desire in your writing? I will give you your first tip now. So for the first tip, I really just want you to think about the why. Why does your character want the other? I'm pretty sure I talked about this in previous videos, but you have to think about the why of it all. Why does this person want this other person? What is a quality that they have that makes them attractive? Honestly, there's nothing more that I detest in writing or in reading or anything when I'm looking at something and I feel like anyone can do. Now that I'm saying it, I really think I talked about this one point in another video, but there has to be something very specific and unique to that person. There has to be a specific quality that maybe one character lacks that the other wants. And in saying that, that's going to build tension, which will be another video, and it's all connected where desire leads to tension. So in saying my first point, you also have to have that kind of withholding, that gap between the desire and then actually getting that desire, whatever it may be. There has to be that gap that draws the reader in for more. If you're writing in first person perspective, that can also look like their thoughts trailing off. I know in my second novel, For You, when the main character is thinking about her love life and the love interest, she's telling herself, I'm not trying to think about him. Like, she literally had a whole day where she was like, I'm just not gonna think about this man. Lo and behold and lo, she ended up thinking about him. So her thoughts naturally drifted to him just because of the context of the scene and the situation, but because he would just come to her mind naturally, without force, even if she didn't want it to happen. Think about restraint and think about how specifically desire leads into tension. Think about how to connect all that. They exist separately. That's why I'm saying them separately, but just food for thought. Okay, let's go on to point number 2. I want you to also consider, when it comes to this, fixation. If you were trying to really sell the desire, have the character notice things about the person they're interested in that maybe others wouldn't realize. Don't generalize. Kind of have a little bit obsessive, like, how they're viewing everything, the way they swallow or gulp or how they chew their food. Maybe that can be unique. Or no, that would make me feel kind of creepy if someone was looking at how I swallow. That makes me uncomfortable. I don't even really like eating in front of people. I'm a messy eater. I'm a real messy eater. Have them notice something like, oh, she must be so nervous right now because she's bouncing her leg up and down. And one of my other novels, when the tension was kind of building, when the tension was building, one of the characters literally looks at them and is like, you may not think I know you, but I know how you love to eat this way. I know how you love to drink this. I know how your lip turns downward a certain way when you're saying bad information to someone. And I know how you get this really beautiful glint in your eye when you're interested in something or you're curious about something. So you better lose that glint in your eye unless you want what just happened, which was them like kissing and making out and stuff, to happen again. That's very specific to the character that person was talking to, right? So I feel like desire that leads into tension. It was very clear given the context and the scene and the situation that desire was there. It was a matter of building it up to lead to the tension by the end of the point of the conversation, where the guy's like, if you don't want what just happened to happen again, you better say something and lose that glint in your eye. I'm so excited for that. But it doesn't have to be something so overt or something so serious like that. It could just be them noticing a scar or something small about the character. That's just all to say that desire kind of, you have the camera here where desire is here, and then you're just gonna zoom in a little bit. Okay, so let's move on to point number 3. This point goes heavily into the technique aspect, where you can kind of think of the sentence rhythm of how you're writing everything, get into the rhythm of it all. So, of course, depending on what you're writing, it can be different. Fantasy, fiction, because my mind's not, I thought I knocked it over, not thinking so much. But you have action scenes where, for example, I'm using action scenes as a way to describe it, but you have action scenes where you're going to need things to be short, succinct, because you're trying to communicate, like they're running for their life. A bullet zooms past, like short sentences in that way. So I'm just going to put it on the screen over here. There are different ways to look at it, but I personally think that having desire written out in long sentences, having the tension in short sentences, and then kind of intermixing it where desire and tension mix and mingle. By the end of it, I feel like you should have some short sentences, and then by the very end, that long sentence comes with surrendering, where they just give in. It could be a sentence, it could be a paragraph. It's really up to you how you choose to do it, but I feel like mixing the two like that, between the tension, desire, all that together, builds a really beautifully crafted paragraph and maybe a chapter on desire. When thinking about desire, it's just important to think about the pacing. So that's something you really, really need to think about. And I'm also going to mention again, separating desire from tension will do you well. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to quickly put it up on the screen, the difference between desire and tension, so that you can kind of understand what I'm getting at and why it's so important that you separate the two and make sure you're intermingling them. I cannot think of a better word, but intermingling them together. Let's move on to point number 4, metaphors instead of anatomy. We talked about this before when it came to, the video was show, don't tell. That's why I was bringing up all that stuff before in a previous video. I'll link it somewhere in here, maybe, I don't know. But you want to use metaphors to communicate desire, just because saying it directly all the time kind of, I don't want to say not slows it down, but it takes the reader away from having that deep emotional investment that's so important, especially if you're writing a romance novel. You have got to have that in there. I really think alluding and using metaphors to describe is the best way. And I will put on the screen somewhere here some ways you can do it. It can be through weather or music or time or even like gravity. Come on, there's so many ways you can do it. I do like the idea of hunger, about how, not how food plays a role in it, but that just desire in your stomach. I'm sorry, I'm so not articulate right now, but you know that fierce hunger you feel after a long day of not eating, and you finally get what you want, and you just, let me stop, subscribe to the, okay, I'm gonna stop with that joke. I say that in almost every video, okay. But I think hunger is also a really great way to describe desire, because sometimes it is very hungry. And I want you to think just how linked they are together. That made zero sense. I'm so sorry. As I said, desire is used to segue into tension. So having that together and making sure you're pacing it well by using the other points I mentioned above, that's super important, because if you don't time it well and word it well, especially in romance novels, that can cause the point you want with the tension to collapse. And you don't want that. So pacing, wording, metaphors, descriptions, all of that, that's how you get to the tension. Let's go on and move to the last and final tip and technique that I have for the part of this video. Okay, this one is actually one of my favorites. Point number 5 is having the usual basic mundane things change when that desire is there. Ordinary moments that may have been trivial and small before become something filled with desire and something a little bit more when that desire is there. Of course, it becomes more intimate when the desire is expressed in not just the big ways, but the small ways too. So I hope you can think about that if you're writing romance novels and you're trying to think of how to get a point across. It doesn't have to be so big. It could be, again, through washing dishes. It could be through, oh, he's standing kind of close. Why is he standing so close to me? It could be through even something like silence. You want it to feel more real when it starts to invade in your normal life and starts festering. And what is the C word? When it starts contaminating everything. Or no, what am I thinking of? There's a C word that's like contamination. 違う。他の言葉かな? Contagious. It becomes more contagious and touches everything else and festers until bam, you got tension in the room with you. Now that I've given you some tips and techniques on how to improve the desire in your writing, I hope that this will really encourage you to write more and hopefully write something lovely. If you liked the video, please be sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe down below. I have all of the links and statistics provided in the description box, so feel free to check that out. You can also see my life in Japan on my Instagram and everything. You'll see all the socials at the end of the video in the end credits scene. Let me check. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Oh, you can also check out the writing techniques playlist somewhere over here if you're hoping to learn more about what to write and how to write. You can catch my next video on Saturday, on Valentine's Day. And I think for that, what I'm going to do is talk about... I don't remember what I plan to do for the video. Y'all, bye. But just check it out. Check it out. Remember, subscribe so that this little devil can get her horn. And I will catch you in the next video. Until then, please stay happy, safe, healthy, and be sure to write your heart's contents. Okay, bye. Yo.